Good morning, everybody. Really exciting to be here to speak to you guys and present the results of our study. So, as you already heard, my name is Öhman, and I'm representing Svea Ekonomi, and I work with our payment solutions. And as you probably know, it's a really fast-paced. You notice that the technology is changing a lot. There's so many changes going on in the business. So if you're not running, you can't keep up with the train. It's moving fast. And I don't know if many of you actually saw it on news or on social media yesterday that we actually purchased or acquired 90% of Maksuturva Group. Yesterday was made public, so it's an indicator that if we want to keep moving forward, we need to have a lot of good people on board and good technology. So it's going to be some exciting times for Svea in payment solutions and otherwise, of course, as well. All right, what I'm here to talk to you about actually today is the online payments and what's going on in the business, consumer vibes and such. My personal idea for this speak came actually already last fall because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard this given facts or stated truths about all kinds of businesses, and we hear a lot of numbers that 70% of your shopping baskets online don't end up like being closed as a deal. You have churn and so forth, and I kind of wanted to have this MythBusters type of approach to these truths. And so we wanted to do a survey and see if it's anywhere near, at least in Finland, do we differ a lot from the global markets and behaviors. So what we did a survey for 1,000 consumers, and we asked them a bunch of questions about, of course, payments and behavior online, and then we did a qualitative research, actually 2 different lengths of interviews with e-commerce managers and similar type of roles in online businesses. And you can see here down that you can pre-order our survey and actually the results. We will make them into a report, and then you can have all the facts and figures. I only have time for a few of them here today, so please go and click onto our website and pre-order it if you're interested. So, the results. But before we get to the results of the survey, I just wanted to remind you that you probably heard that there's a lot of growth going on in e-commerce. You hear everything between 10% and 50%, and it's really hard to determine what's the exact figure. But you will see on the next slide that there's clear indicators that the e-commerce business is growing really fast. And part of it comes, of course, from the confidence of consumers. They believe in tomorrow, in their personal economy and in Finnish economy. So it's a good time being in business. And the first number that I think it's really, really strongly going together with the previous slide is the 29% of the consumers answering to our survey stated that they will consume a lot more or some more money in the coming 12 months online. And then you might ask yourself, well, what's the rest 71% gonna do? Are they gonna consume less? No, actually, about 60% said that they will use the same amount of money next 12 months as they used the previous 12 months. And there was only 3% that said that they will use less money, and the rest were indecisive how much they will spend. And actually, hopefully, it will be an interesting year because actually the biggest growth numbers were indicated in the age group plus 65-year-olds. So we will probably see some more seniors shopping online as well. So that's going to be interesting. They shop up a few of them, very few of them shop online at the moment. So 1,058 euros is what the Finnish consumer, according to our survey at least, consumes annually online. There's a big difference, of course, between age groups. If you look at older 35 to 54-year-old So they spend almost 1,600 euros online annually, and then under 24-year-olds use only 600 euros roughly annually. And of course, you have to take into consideration that income levels differ a lot between different age groups. So 5.6% of the total income of 34-year-olds to 54-year-olds go online, and then 4% of the younger people go to online shopping. So why do they go online? Well, as you just saw, 35 to 54-year-olds spend the most money, and I think that it's easy, it saves time. It's something that goes together with that clearly, because, well, you probably know yourself that you're busy with your career, you have probably children, and you might want to use your time for hobbies and such instead of walking around in shops buying stuff. So you just do it online quickly and easily. And of course, 63% said it's easier, and 61% stated that they find that you find a wider range of goods online. And 57% said that they find cheaper prices online. And I found that it was significant, actually, the difference between what men and women think. Men answered, 65% of men said that they find that you get cheaper prices online, but only 52% of women said the same. I don't know why there's a gap between them, but I'm sure somebody could find out if we did a new survey and would understand to ask that question. So what's happening on the shopping platforms or devices you're shopping with? Well, mobile is rising, of course. You probably all knew that already. But it was interesting that only 10% of plus 55ers have ever done a purchase on their mobile. While then again, the younger generations, 18 to 34-year-olds, most of them want to use, 20% of them want to mainly use their mobile phone for shopping online, and over 50% of them have used it at some point. And actually, if you look at the 18 to 24 age gap, they are using even more than the 25 to 34-year-olds. So there's some difference as well there. But why is it then? Why is it such low figures still, like considering that we do everything on our mobile phones? Well, I think it's kind of our authentication, strong electronic authentication is lagging behind a little bit. And then, of course, it's not really smooth always to type in your contact information and such browsing on your mobile phone. So I hope we will get more smoother authentication methods. We have Mobiilivarmen, and a lot of banks already introduced some apps that you can get your Tupas numbers codes smoothly with, but it's still not really there where it needs to be. And I think Apple Pay and Google Pay, they're looking really interesting here, because you just use your fingerprint. You can get your contact information from the app itself. You don't have to type in anything. So it's a smooth, easy process. So I would say that this is where everybody is going if we want to go be mobile friendly. It's the next thing. It's not enough anymore that you just have your website optimized for mobile browsers. It's something that you need to have 10 years ago. Well, maybe 5, but you get the point. So moving on to payments. This retailers' answers. This is rather given, of course. You can't have a web shop if you can't receive payments, and 97% of course have credit cards, and 94% offer bank payments. But what I found interesting was that there's only still 19% that don't offer invoice and part payment. But of course, there's also 6% that aren't offering bank payments. I don't know why. Maybe they have a special shop that only offers credit card payments. Who knows? So why payments are important? Well, of course, this is rather given as well. If you can't receive payments, you can't do business, right? So 86% stated it's just a must. And then we have 72% that say that it's the way just to raise for customers, If you don't offer a wide enough range of payment methods, people maybe want to pay with an app or credit card, and you're not offering, they will go somewhere else. And of course, it's a possibility to acquire more customers if you have a wider range of payments than your competitors, and cost effectiveness and a chance to gain additional sales. Maybe that's if you offer part payment, for instance. You can sell more. You don't have to have the money right now. Pay in installments. Easy and simple. And now it's actually one of my favorite slides. I think this is always interesting to see what people say that they prefer, and then actually what they do. Well, I guess the differences aren't that big as one might expect, but 50% said that their preferred payment method is bank payments. But then when we asked, so what was the last time you did online shopping, how did you pay? 45% said that they paid with bank payments. So there's a 5% gap. It's not that big, but it's still interesting. And I think it goes well together with the two next points on the slide. 25% and 14% said that they want to pay with credit card, invoice, or part payment. And still the bigger portion actually paid with those methods. But I think that's also pretty given if you think about it. You might not have the money on your account, but you want to do the purchase. So instead of paying with your bank payments, you will get a credit option, the card or invoice part payment. But then what I think, as I spoke earlier about going mobile, I think the last one, that 9% said that they love apps or payment solutions, services, sorry. But actually only 6% paid with them the previous time they bought anything. And I guess you can ask the question, why is that? There's only 3% difference, but it's 50% of the people that would have wanted to pay didn't get the chance. And I think it's not about having problems with payments in the apps. It's rather that web shops or payment service providers aren't offering enough of services to the consumers. We know that the consumers are moving faster. There's a lot of early adapters out there, and they want to be first. They want to have Apple Pay. They want to have people, or they want to pay with their phone. And shops aren't ready for it. So that's something you need to think about if you have a web shop. Offer them all the payment methods that you can. So how I spoke about the 70% myth I've heard. And so we asked in the survey how many of the people that have shopped online actually had encountered some problems while shopping. And actually 40% say that they left the purchase undone due to difficulties. It's not 70%, but it's still really, really a lot of people actually having problems to buy things. And of that 40%, 33% said that the difficulties were due to payments. So they just couldn't process the payment and couldn't finalize the purchase. And that's a big problem, especially when you look down there. So 48% said that they had trouble buying it. They went to another shop. It's simple as that. It's not like walking in a brick and mortar store. If you want to leave, you have to actually walk away and go a few kilometers away. And here you just have a few clicks and you're in the next shop. You know what you want. You know what the price is. And actually, what I found the most significant, personally at least, was the 40% that actually didn't even buy the whole product. That's pretty impulsive purchasing behavior if you think about it. If you just, oh, I'll have that, and it doesn't work. Never mind, I'll never get it. That's pretty surprising, I think. But that's the way we work, apparently. And the people that said that they had problems with their payments, 35% said it was when they tried to pay with credit card, 32% on bank payments, and 17% on debit cards. So as we already touched the subject of apps and mobile payments, 13% of them said that there were some difficulties trying to pay with their apps. But 6% and 3% actually only had trouble with invoice and part payment. So I had this crazy idea that, well, you should of course try to recognize the people having difficulties with payments. If you try to process a payment a couple of times, maybe you should offer another payment method that works instead of just banging your head to the wall and trying to get the payment through and then going to the next shop or leaving the basket for life. So that's something to think about. So what to take with you from this presentation? Hopefully you'll remember everything, of course. But if you don't, you can of course go click on our website, as I already mentioned, to the svea.fi/survey and pre-order our survey. It's not completely done with the qualitative parts, but I promise you within a month, hopefully in 2 weeks, it will be ready for you. But consumers have faith in tomorrow, so embrace the moment. Let's do business. Mobile is coming, and it's partly already here, but there are still some barriers stopping us actually to go viral with the mobile shopping. And as I already mentioned, it's not enough anymore that you just optimize your web shop or a website for mobile users. You need to have mobile-friendly payment methods and ways to receive information. Then, of course, make sure your payments work. There's no point in losing customers just because you couldn't process a payment or there was some other problems in the web shop. And offer enough payment methods to your customers. There's always somebody that prefers another payment method over another, and if you're not offering it, maybe they will leave the purchase completely undone. So that was actually all I had to tell you about the survey and study we did. Please pop by our lounge if you have some questions, or we have some brochures there. You can have a teaser, and then you can pre-order by our lounge or online to the survey if you're interested to see how consumers and business owners and e-commerce managers think about the future and trends. Thank you very much.